go out to my friend Josina Anderson, senior NFL insider, USA Today, CBS Sports, host of The Crew and Undefined with Josina Anderson. Josina, always great to see you.
What's up, lady? How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a crazy time right now. The quarterback mobility of the NFL has made things very, very interesting in the off season. Cam Newton, actually, we haven't talked about Cam today. Cam had an interesting post where he talked about some of the teams he would be willing to go to and be a backup for. What do you think about Cam Newton's list of players he's willing to back up?
I think first and foremost, it shows a willingness to kind of accept the role that he is in right now, just relative to him being out of the NFL so long. And it really, Joy, just makes me think about the Jets, because I think that right now their QB2 situation is not tenuous. If you think about the possibility, God forbid, obviously they got to get Aaron Rodgers first. But if something were to happen to number 12, at least now, and he is injured and can't perform, is Zach Wilson really where they want to put, all of their aspirations and hopes as far as putting that in his hands? When I think back to the Thursday night football game against the Jaguars, and that being the last time Zach Wilson performed before a national audience, and how he looked like a deer in headlights, that would give me great pause. And I know that the Jets feel like as long as anyone's in a Jets uniform, we're going to do all our best to develop him and all that other stuff. And I'm not saying cut him and all that other stuff. What I think, and I've been saying this in the New York, New Jersey market, is that I feel like Zach should be QB3. They should have brought someone in like a Jameis Winston, someone who's performed under pressure, shown it. Cam Wilson was in the Super Bowl. Cam Newton was in the Super Bowl 2015. He's handled that type of pressure. If something happens to Aaron, I think that would be suitable. And I like his list. It shows maturation of heart and mind.
Speaking on that, are you assuming that is going to get done? Like that's a done deal? Because to me, it feels like the Packers are just holding out to try and get as much as they can for Aaron Rodgers. And I believe that they should do that. And I also believe that the Jets should move off of whatever they're clutching to, because if you're in the Aaron Rodgers business, you're in the temporary business anyway.
Yeah, I feel like with Nathaniel Hackett coming there, with them making the move for Alan Lazard and all the other pieces that they're still working on, obviously the addition of Mecole Hardman, still talking Odell Beckham Jr. and all that other stuff. I feel like they are more than down the rabbit hole with trying to get Aaron Rodgers. I agree with you that wherever the talks are that are kind of just keeping it at this mesh point, it's not really worth it. Like, to me, even though I don't expect Aaron to be there day one when they report April 17 for off-season, practices or what have you, just the knowledge of having this done and the good vibes that it would send through the building and how you would build on that daily, to me, is worth the difference from a first to a second or a third. Just get it going and get it moved on. But just talking to Jet sources and people around the situation, this is definitely what they want to do. This is definitely what I feel like they're going to do. God forbid something happen, and then you have to pivot to maybe a Lamar or something, which I think is like in the 1 percentile right now. But the Jets fans are just too much in a lather, and even the players from Garrett Wilson to Breece Hall or what have you. So I don't see them finally finding some sort of marriage when it comes to the trade compensation to get this done.
I don't want to go to circus, but it's getting very crazy. That draft press conference was so weird. They're like shutting down questions about Lamar. It was like they were under oath or something. It's weird. He's a league MVP. He wins over 70% of his games. I love Lamar Jackson. I don't understand what's happening. So maybe you can help make sense of it for me. What are we missing in this negotiation process? Because I have so many questions that are unanswered.
Let me see what's the best way to answer that. I think first and foremost, I know that the Baltimore Ravens want Lamar Jackson back. And I also feel like, just per all of my source conversations, that they feel like they're exercising extreme patience. When you think about the amount of time that both sides have been talking on this contract, when you think about what happened at the owners' meetings with Lamar's bombshell dropping the news of his trade demand March 2nd, a minute before John Harbaugh spoke to the media. And I also think that Lamar has been doing his best when you think about his principles and what he's asserted to be his, value per his accomplishments in the past. I think that the Ravens know that Lamar Jackson is the shortest hypotenuse between the start of the season and what their postseason goals are year to year. Even if they were to draft an Anthony Richardson or whoever, that prospect is still going to need time. And even if you have all the arm talent in the world, what matters is what your passer can do under pressure and with experience. And when you talk about competing in the AFC North, and when you talk about competing in the AFC with all of their quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, and they know this, trust me from my conversation, they know Lamar is their best prospect for this season. I believe the coaching staff understands that. What you have now also is a new offensive coordinator and the need to get Lamar Jackson in the building, which is why this morning I sort of put that proposal out there that I feel like they should both come to the table and kind of negotiate on the non-exclusive tag value of $32.4 million, offer him the minimum of the exclusive tag value at 45, if not 46.2, just to get him above Kyler Murray, and use that as a mesh point to kind of make it easier for Lamar to feel like, okay, I've been holding out with my principles. This is going to make me feel better to come back. And at the same time, have the incentives in that proposal as well to help, kind of mitigate whatever availability concerns that the Ravens have as well.
I think the availability concerns are a bit overblown. And I think
I agree. I do agree.
Okay, good. I'm glad that I'm not alone on that, because every time I say that, I'm met with great resistance. And I'm like, Joe Burrow had his whole knee reconstructed in the past 3 years. And I love Joe Burrow, and I think Joe Burrow should absolutely be paid whatever the top dollar is. And I think he's going to have a long and successful career. I absolutely love him. But he's had this injury. It's not like a secret. I'm not revealing anything.
Correct.
Deshaun Watson in his career has had 2 ACL repairs on different knees. Got fully guaranteed. Kyler Murray I'm like, what is 100% guarantee of injury in this league? Lamar Jackson has missed the end of the last 2 seasons. Understandable. But he was so good during the regular season last year that his absence didn't matter for them making the postseason, even though they were averaging 13.7 points a game without him. So I think that they're overblown.
I definitely agree with, people keep talking about the 5 games that Lamar Jackson missed at the end of this past season and the season before. But as I've said over and over again, just because you have an injury doesn't mean that you're going to have an injury the next season. And likewise, just because you're coming in healthy doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be healthy. The credentials that Lamar Jackson has that warrants to me a value of at least the exclusive tag, or if not more, is the fact that he's an MVP. And when you're looking at people like Deshaun or Kyler making more than his current value and not having those credentials, I don't think that that's necessarily fair.
Right.
So
yeah, I agree. I think it's very...
that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.